I'm live. I'm waiting for, as my mother would get annoyed if I said "fur." I'm waiting for this party to start. When it's time to party, we will party hard. I guess the JHS musical thing is in like 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Got my chat. Hey, Philip. I don't know if you're still here. I don't know if this is really as like livey live as. Oh, there it is. Yep, it's live. I'm here. I am very confused about what the JHS musical is, but they have had to turn their chat on to slow mode so everyone can only comment once every 2 minutes because they are, holy Moses, 3,000 people watching. 4 thumbs down, which, I think is kind of rude. I bought a guitar today. I guess I can talk about that for 2 minutes. It's a tenor guitar. Very excited. Very excited. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this. 4 people are watching me. Join me in the chat. I hope you have the JHS thing on one screen. I'm doing half screen right now. You won't hear any like bleed over because I have these headphones on. It's pretty neat. Yeah, so I am filming a demo tomorrow with a product that's being released on Tuesday. So that's what my life is going to be like. I'm getting sandwiches delivered right now. I hope the sandwiches come soon. I'm going to eat on mic. No. Some people get paid a lot for that. Hey, thanks, Dave. I'm just so happy to have you here. I really do kind of wonder what this is going to be like, what it's going to entail. It's pretty interesting. I really thought this was going to be like an April Fool's joke, but apparently it is not just an April Fool's joke. I'm shocked. I'm honestly shocked that this was not a joke. But someone had a productive quarantine. Josh Scott. Man, I tell you what. I can't believe this is real. This is real. This is actually happening. And I can't play a show. I really don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know anything about this. This is not in any way affiliated with JHS at all. And I've literally never talked to Josh Scott, I don't think. Maybe online once. Just haven't had the opportunity. Oh my god. 12 seconds! 10 seconds! Are we ready? Alright, I've unmuted it. It's a dark stage with a band. Oh, this is very like 50s musical sounds. Oh man. Snap track. It's very smooth, very Mad Men-esque, I think. Skinny tie is also very much the appearance. Huh. Oh. Is that drummer playing? Oh, is there a drummer even? Oh. Nashville. Don't worry about me. think it was actually bass 6. Is this synced wrong for anybody else? Nice, okay. That's historically correct enough. Oh yeah, that's what those look like. Michigan. Kalamazoo's in Michigan. Okay, I freaking knew Andrew was wrong when he called it the Maestro. Dude, Ben, like my band did a live stream and it was really off sync, so my jumps looked really stupid even though they were perfect. That's the story I'm sticking with. Oh, they had the little microphones on the heads. It's very real. This is real production. Ryan from 6 Cycle Hum is in the chat says, guys, if you comment out of sync enough, they'll be able to fix it. What is this? It was a bass 6. For the freaking record, I'm pretty sure it was a bass 6. Not a normal guitar. Huh. By an accident, I was something broken. This is nice. Yeah. Sometimes mistakes are the best part. Huh. I like that guitar tone. This is distracting. I feel very bad that they're having such an issue with the sync. Huh. That dancer to the left. I don't like their chat. Yes. I knew it was Maestro or Maestro, not Maestro. Freaking Andrew. What accent is he going for? What is this accent? I feel like it started like one thing and ended something else. Bigger, fuller, more. Bad Mama Jamba. I like the representation with the dancers, like body type representation. I wish I could dance. I'm not a good dancer. Oh, the guitars changed guitars. I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay. This has to be like 30 minutes long tops, don't y'all think? I wouldn't take credit for Eric Clapton. Oh, it was supposed to be a British accent. That didn't translate well. Count your money, Josh Scott. Count your money, Josh Scott. I like to imagine it's just what he does all the time. Counts his money. Money, money. Ooh, my food's here. Is he about to invent the talk box? What is this happening? Oh, no, I get it. It's a fuzz face. The gala face. Ew. A face that won't fit on your friggin' pedal board. A face only a mother could love. Where did I get the name of female musician? Huh. I like her voice the best so far. Dave Cole says Josh Scott has a pedal bend like Scrooge McDuck's money bend. You like just imagine him diving in and swimming around. These are pretty fast costume changes. This is real. This is a real musical. I'm too sober for this. Like, significantly too sober. I should have gotten... I don't know if this is real. How is this real? Hi, I gave him $1. Song title is Possibility. Does anybody hear that? That was just on my side, or? Should have just run. Just do ass, you coward. You coward. Just cuss. Big babies. It's all in fun. Oh, someone commented in the Josh Scott chat, I loading my bong. Wow. Hi. Man. Wow. What's funny is every time I demo a wah pedal or filter pedal, like I put my videos through a transcriber so I can put them on the website and it's a little bit more accessible. And every time I have a wah sound, it's just my transcribed text is just wow. Wow. It's funny. It's my favorite. Sounds like a trumpet. Ah! What's happening? What happened? Everything okay?
We're good.
Alright, cool. Can I have my sandwich? I got my sandwich! Hey, Sky. This guy looks like one of the guys who's on Married at First Sight this season. I don't understand. Why is the wah pedal so sad? Is it understood why the wah is so sad? He's got chocolates. Everything is crap sometimes. But I have a sandwich, so everything's good now. Oh, because he's a crybaby. That's cute. Oh. These fries are terrible. This fry is like fresh oil.
E.g.
I don't know. But it's a Voxwa, it's not a crybaby. I got the Eddie. Oh. Because he was sad because he's not a crybaby? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't want this. Thanks. Okay. It's only 60. So it's like it's 54 more years to go. You love PBS. Okay, we're how long is this? I was thinking it'd be like 30 minutes, but we have like a lot more years. Half a century to go. Those are fun. Huh. 7-Up, that's cool. I didn't know it connected to your phone. Ooh. Look at the sandwich. It's so beautiful. Is it though? They're only doing 9 pedals, so they're already halfway through? Wow, you can really hear every time they smack that table, huh? This is definitely a gimmick. Still better than Lady Gaga. Somebody says, fuck you. I mean, this is definitely a musical. This just sounds like a musical. And I think she was, you know what? No, I think that the, one of those fuzz pedals, the lady who did the fuzz pedal, I think was the best singer, but she was fun. Only musical, someone brags this is the only musical he's ever enjoyed. Jeez. Pickles. No, this is like, I don't know. This is tri-tip beef. Wow. No, I kind of want to get a cheeseburger. My husband wanted a sandwich, though. She's got a really nice voice. Really nice timbre-doer voice. I don't envy anybody who has to get in one of those costumes. It looks so awkward. Especially this one. Huh. So it's just more Hendrix? Okay. Were there other guitarists? I don't know. What kind of Strat is that? Does anybody know what that headstock is? I do just want to point out Jimi Hendrix's family is very litigious. So I hope Josh doesn't have problems with the litigious Hendrix family. One of my Patreon supporters we're chatting about this too, and she said, I am so glad I smoked for this. Hey, Damien. I'm not listening to these words. So not only is he playing not a Strat, but he's playing it like Doyle Bramhall III. This is fun. This is what it is. Onions. Oh, is that it? Is this just about Jimi Hendrix, actually? Is it? Me too, Damien. Oh. Strings. Okay. I can't believe there are so many people watching this. And how fast that chat is going. Is there more? They just had a costume change already? Dang. That's fast. I can barely put on pants that fast. I do have very, very big calves, though. And I wear skinny jeans, so that kind of makes it kind of a slow process for me in the morning sometimes. I have to put on socks before I put on my pants. It's gotta be Mike. You know how much I wonder how much $1,000 was in 1968. Maybe we'll do that. Don't talk to me. This is so weird. Muff. Who's this Liam Schreiber looking guy? He's got those Hungarian meat pad cheeks. They just want to squeeze. He looks less like Liam Schreiber close. Still, though. What's wrong with Kalamazoo? I don't like these people insulting Midwesterners. The sandwich is very good. It's tri-tip, Mama Lil's peppers, their special aioli, grilled onions, and an aioli. Did I mention the aioli? And pickles? It's very good. Pussy shavers. The bread's really good. Not too chewy, but holding up really nicely to the juices from the tri-tip and aioli and the what I assume is butter that they're grilled. It's from a place called Honey Hole in Capitol Hill in Seattle. There was the 60s before too, though. Oh yeah. Don't brag about that. Don't brag about making Clapton. It's not the time to brag about Clapton. She's my favorite, the fuzz face. I'm sorry making you all hungry. Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Why the hell can't you put lipstick on a pig? The pig probably wouldn't like it. Good luck putting lipstick on 30 to 40 wild hogs, though. I'm losing everybody. What if I started OnlyFans that was just me eating sandwiches? Oh, man. Okay. The really loud movement. This is funny to me because it checks all those boxes of, like, being a musical. Is this the intermission? Because this feels like intermission and not, like, the end. Because in chapter 2, everything's supposed to go bad again in a musical, like Into the Woods, which is why most schools never put on Act 2. Thank God that was 30 minutes. Wow. Okay, well. Who wants to recap that? Nobody was. Okay. That was it? Alright. Well, that was something. Here comes Josh and that little guy. I didn't know this was just Bentown. I don't think it was supposed to be good. I mean, they definitely did it, so that's a success. That was. I don't know. So just like. Just the 60s? Josh couldn't afford that himself. I'm glad I pay people. Kelsey Massey did great. Belle Lukes was good. They were all good. But Alice Scott was the director. I guess that's his wife. Huh. Those are people who like musicals made it. Huh. That was weird, man. That was... I thought it was a joke. Who else thought it was a joke? Well, I mean, it was like 15 seconds of history per pedal, and then... Oh, I lost my connection to his face. I'm going to just close out his face because that makes me feel better. I come from live events, so the rule about a live event is if it happens, especially the first time, it's a success, and that is the metric. Did it happen? And it did, so that's a success. He had thousands of people tuned in to watch it live. That's a success. That was deeply bizarre, I think would be fair to say. Is it honestly? If I didn't know that the world of guitar pedals could get weirder than it already was. That was really weird, and I know that was the point. Oh man, I can't imagine doing that and like having the idea and then actually deciding to continue it. So it happened. Well, Dave Cole, if they had not been able to pay the Texan actors, that would have been very irresponsible and bad and stuff on their part. So that's kind of like, and I think that it's just like that. Everyone's like, oh, people are gonna be like, oh, it's nice that they paid everybody. I mean, that just kind of shows you how screwed up the industry is as a whole. Oh my god. I don't. They mentioned Eric Clapton like a lot of times. I know Eric Clapton was early in pedals, but surely someone else could have gotten name dropped a little bit. I hope he's not exactly having a moment. Was not having a good moment. So my sandwich is from a place called Honey Hole in Seattle. They did not sponsor this. And they also have these fries. But like if you look at the color of these fries, I don't know. David Gilmour probably would have better. It's like fresh oil, so they're not like, they're honestly pretty dry. I've definitely been more disappointed by French fry, but they're just so like, I'm trying to think of the word to describe. All right. Well, Eric Downing, if you're watching, your comment's been hidden from everybody else, and I'm not going to tell everybody what you said, because you seem like a very sad, small little man. And that's all I have to say about that, guy. How about you stop watching my videos, asshole? Alright. Oh my god. But who's watching the Grammys tomorrow? I'm going to continue to hide this. Bye. Yeah, it's good that these actors are getting work. I think that is actually really, really cool, because it's been a really hard year for everybody in that space. And unless you can get like film work, because that still seems to be happening, television work still seems to be happening, but like live performances are not. And I've seen way fewer like virtual play productions, though I do know some people who have done them. I've seen way fewer than I have of like live streams, and I think it's because like if you're just a singer-songwriter or you're in a band, it's relatively easy to get your crew together, but to put on a play or a musical is such a big production. And I think that like even if you don't like musicals, it behooves you to like experience them sometimes, because it really is such an ordeal. And I'm going to wrap up my sandwich because I'm full. It's such a big ordeal, and I don't want us to lose the magic that comes from like live like those kinds of performances, because like I love movies and I love going to movies, and I know that it's not financially feasible for everybody to go see live musical theater all the time. But if you can get out like once a year, or even just supporting your community theater, I think it's a really cool thing to do. And it's a fun way to spend some time rather than like watching reruns of Frasier, which is what I've spent the past like 15 weeks doing. But I'll give a lot of props for Josh and that crew and that team for doing this at all, and I hope that he appreciates that this whole thing was kind of tongue in cheek and just, I think, fun. And it was odd. Like, I can't get past that it was weird. And I usually really like weird things. Like, I'm very drawn to weird people and weird things. I'm also very drawn to grumpy people. Let me just tell Steve. He said that join my Patreon to get access to a special Discord where I'm going to share the very rude thing that Eric Downing said earlier. Bridgers quote. There we go. Oh, and the industry plan. Yes. That was so weird. And the music was good. I mean, the music was not the kind of music that would be like groundbreaking and win Tonys, but I don't think anybody expected that. But for what it was, it felt very cohesive, like had a very cohesive kind of vibe, and felt very much like of the era. It felt like a very 60s musical, which I think was honestly really, really cool. Just like even like the overture stuff before, it was really wild. More people watched someone says JHS Scro said more people watched the JHS musical opening than the opening night of Hamilton. That's likely. I don't know what that theater Hamilton was in for their opening night. But some of those theaters have really big capacity. What theater did Hamilton start in? Hamilton started in the public theater. So let's do the public theater capacity. That's Joe's Pub. That is not the public theater. Public theater, New York City. I'll never know. It just keeps telling me Joe's Pub, which is not the same place. Oh, is it Joe's Pub? It's amazing. Oh. Yeah, the capacity is very small. Oh, hi, Steve. Hi. That is probably true. Michael Davidson's watching reruns of Third Rock from the Sun. That sounds fun. I remember that show was on when I was a kid and I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any Frasier either as a kid, but apparently my husband said it was like always on in his house, so he like knew the song and is remembering some of the plot points. I'm like, I think I just watched the episode with Elvis Costello. Give Sweetwater credit for not making them paste their logo all over. Imagine if everybody just had a big Sweetwater sticker on the back. Everybody gets candy. Brr. I like the body type representation, especially with the dancers, because in these things normally you see dancers that are just all like super duper skinny, all of one body type, and then you watch something like that has like different sized humans dancing, and you're like, oh yeah, you don't have to be like wafer thin to be a dancer. I think that was really cool. That was really cool. I do worry about the Jimi Hendrix family being as litigious as they are. I don't really know how that happened. Like, I don't know if like what they did would have been considered kosher, but like having someone portray him. I know they called him Jimmy and they called him JH, I think at one point, but I don't know if they ever mentioned him as Hendrix, so that they might be able to scoot past that one. You remember when the guy from Outkast played Andre 3000 played Jimi Hendrix in an unofficial Jimi Hendrix biopic, and then they weren't allowed to use music at all. And Jimi Hendrix's ex-girlfriend got really mad because they made a scene where Jimi Hendrix was like beating her, and she's like, "He would never." I think that's pretty shitty. Pretty shitty to do. What else did y'all think about it? Like, I feel like I'm gonna need to stick that in a skillet and let it simmer for a while. Because it was odd. Now I'm a little bit sad. We recorded this week's episode of the podcast this morning with Steve Selvage from The Whole Steady, and I'm really glad we recorded it with Steve. But now I'm like, now I'm gonna have to wait a whole last week to talk about this with Andrew. I feel like, where is the musical? But the musical's not here. The musical's on the JHS channel. This is just a reaction video. I'm not. I know. if you're not watching the chat, the person's handle is Bud. I wasn't sure. I wasn't being like, oh my guy, come on, get out there. Philip Lauer says it was strangely entertaining in a guitar-oriented way, which appeals to only so many people. I'm one of those people, and the rest of my family looked at me like I'm strange. Oh well. Yeah. Record an emergency extra episode. Yeah, I mean, obviously this had one specific audience, and that's always kind of a risky, weird thing to do. But, I mean, if you know that your audience is big enough to, like, watch that just to see what the hell is happening, I mean, I think that's a good marketing move. I don't want, like, let's not pretend that Josh Scott is not a really good marketer. And he does a lot of things really well, and he really has leaned into content quite a lot. And as a content marketer, I appreciate it. But I'm sure, B-U-D, I am sure that it will be available quite soon on replay, if not already. Michael Davidson misses guitar-oriented music. Boy, I got some good news for you. There's still lots of guitar-oriented music. It's just not really on the pop charts quite as much. But if you, like, listen to indie music, yeah, there's a lot of synth stuff. But there's still quite a lot of, rock-type guitar music. I make guitar-based music. I think every couple years, people sell their guitars to buy synths, and then they sell their synths to buy the guitars again. And it's just like this thing that happens constantly, churning and burning. And country music's still largely guitar-based, but now they have, like, snap tracks in every song. Yeah, I wonder who started doing those snap tracks. Address me personally, because it's kind of weird because I regularly watch. Well, this is live, bud. This is live. We're doing it live. Ahead of its time in someone's timeline. The musical was? Yeah, probably. Man, this is a weird timeline that we're in. I will always and forever give props for people who have, like, an idea to create something and then they just do it. Because I think we're all guilty often of having ideas and not having follow through. So I always really appreciate and respect when someone actually has follow through. Especially, like, the weirder the idea, the more I respect the follow through. Like, if somebody's idea is, I'm gonna crank the gain. Like, I'm like, good on you for doing it. But if somebody's like, I'm going to make a musical about guitar pedals, and then they actually do it, I'm like, wow. You must have had some melatonin that night before going to bed when you dreamt up this weird fever dream. Snapchats at first. No Snapchats, but if you want to super chat me, that gives me money, and I like it. Snap tracks. Country is always 7 years behind current pop trends. Maybe, but I think it's still, like, the largest radio format, and there's a lot of money in it, so they're obviously doing something right. I mean, for the longest time, and probably still now, country fans were the ones who were still, like, buying CDs and buying music instead of ripping it or downloading it. So that's always a big deal, and that's kind of why there's so much money in country. It's a well of money, because part of it is it still does have a fan base that's relatively less. It's a large fan base. It's a relatively less, like, technological, I think, than say rock fans or pop fans. Pop fans are younger, so they got all the tech. They know what's happening. But country fans, especially when I was growing up, they weren't as technical. They maybe didn't get smartphones as quickly, and also high-speed internet is still not considered, like, a mandatory service the way that phone lines are. Like, the government literally had to pass a law to make phones available and make the phone companies run phone lines to rural areas, because it doesn't make them any money. It costs them a lot of money. So as a result, a lot of places still don't have, especially rural places, still don't have good internet. So that's kind of that's a big problem, honestly. As someone like I live in a big city now, I came from rural Ohio, so that matters a little bit to me. Snap pop. Synths in country songs. You know, country, actually, I think they probably used phasers before a lot of other people. And as you saw in that musical, Marty Robbins is a country artist. And that basic solo was the first fuzz solo in a song. And you can read more about that in a Reverb article I wrote once. Was anyone dressed like a pedal? But they had those like kind of floppy sort of costumes, like the really cheap ones you buy that like those banana costumes, but they were pedals. So like I guess they bought some like square or made some square costumes and then decorated them. Rock. Hey Haley. Now all of us music businesses are going to have to make musicals about the history of the product. What would you say about guitar? Like, how could you have a musical about guitar straps? These are leather. These are 2 inches wide for your heavy ass bass guitars. This one is a seat belt. This one has a holder for your guitar pick. This one has LEDs. I don't know what you do. John, as a musical theater nerd from high school in the 80s, I loved it. Yeah, it was really nostalgic. I would agree. I'll never sell my guitar for a synth when I can just buy a synth pedal. It's funny you say that. I was literally just playing with my Cooper Effects arcades with the synth chip, which I think is it's got some really good sounds in it. A lot of really talented musicians on YouTube, but you turn on the radio and TV is horrible. I don't think it's horrible. I just think, it's not for everybody. And the music industry in the 90s was super duper weird and they lost a lot of money. And part of it, I think, is Napster. So now, like, someone can have a TikTok hit and, make some money or at least be famous. But also in the 90s, big labels would just sign a bunch of bands, throw it at certain markets, like smattering it up against the wall and see what sticks. And there's some good that came out of that, bands like Fastball, and then there was a lot of stuff that just like sizzled in the pan. And they probably lost quite a lot of money just doing that method and then downloading. And also, like, musical things change. Like, I grew up in the 90s thinking 80s music was awful because it was old and it was dated. And now I go back and I'm like, I like that. And now I revisit some stuff from, like, the mid to late 2000s I didn't like. And I still don't like a lot of it. But, I find it maybe somewhat nostalgic. I hate, like, early 2000s, like, rock. Wanda Jackson was ahead of the curve. Wanda Jackson is a badass. Remains a badass, will always be a badass. You can never tell me otherwise. I don't agree that the radio has always sucked. Country bands tour, so they will come to your town instead of making you go to Coachella, so that's respectable. But they still have their own festivals like Stagecoach. They have one up here in at the Gorge. So they still have their festivals for sure. Touring is really okay. So festivals, you can make so much more money touring festival circuits, playing like a third of the shows, and then making a lot more money per appearance at a certain level. So I very much get the appeal of bigger bands. Like I think when Outkast did their tour, they just played a bunch of festivals. They probably made like a couple $1 million and bounced. Respectable. The costumes are Conspiracy theory. Josh had those costumes before the musical. Dan Compton. Josh had these costumes long before the musical was ever dreamt of. I love that. Oh my god. Dave Cole, so I have to do a musical about offset guitars. No, I don't think I would do a musical. I might write a couple jingles. Maybe I'll do that. This is a jazz master. Jazz players really hated it, but surf players liked it a lot. They did a great job. I love the Breeders, Michael Davidson. I'm from Dayton. I'm a girl, and my dad's from Dayton. I went to Dayton a lot. I'm from Cincinnati. The Deal sisters were like the rock stars in my heart as a teenager. Emily, the history of Haley from Rocket Music Gear says the history of who ripped off whom, Haley? Whom? Who was the original creator, design, etc.? So unnecessary. P.S. The song was perfect, though. Oh, Oh yeah, because Haley gets ripped off sometimes. So check out Rocket Music Gear. She's really done a lot more unique stuff with guitar straps than I think a lot of other people have done. And she keeps getting ripped off, and it sucks. And I hate seeing it. Really hate seeing it. Bud says Cloud Nothings. Yes. Bleached. Yes. Vivian Girls. Cloud Nothings is still active. They just released a record. And also, isn't that funny that Sadie from Speedy Ortiz is dating a guy from Cloud Nothings? Also, Cloud Nothings from Cleveland, Ohio. OH. Karthik, I figure there won't be an archive up until at least this time tomorrow. Oh, did they just pull it? Can somebody tell me if they just pulled it? Because there was a sync issue. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if you can watch it tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if they just really, really, really want to fix that. When my band, we did that live stream late last Halloween, and it was out of sync. There were points where like I did jumps, they were timed perfectly, and then I went back and watched them. Like I look so stupid because it looks like the note hit and then I jump, and then I'm like, oh my god, I look like a freaking idiot. Oh god, that was so embarrassing. Michael Davidson's in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. Get is better than Scrapple, my friend. Yes, we have to get on the musical bandwagons. Bought the new Cloud Nothings album. Guitars are sick. I believe that. Paul Frank has gotten ripped off. Yeah, I believe Paul Frank has gotten ripped off. I mean, part of like getting ripped off is like there's a little flattery there because obviously somebody liked what you did and they want to steal it. And but it also doesn't feel very good when it's like taking food off of your plate. in a sense. And yeah. Just because not everybody's gonna have the good ideas. So I worked for a guy and this whole agency, this is years ago, this whole agency, he would say things like, we're not the most creative, we're not the best, we're not the most innovative, but we're really good at seeing what's working for other people and doing that. And I think, well, maybe that's because maybe you're not the most innovative because you're underpaying people and committing wage theft. But I was talking to someone else about getting a shirt that says something like, I worked in the music industry and all I got was wage theft and anxiety issues. That's how I feel about working in the music industry. It was actually live events, and I remember talking to my boss once because I would have to go to like racetracks and work events on weekends, and I remember asking him like if I could get flex time. So like I worked all the weekend. Can I get like Tuesday, Wednesday off? And he said no. He said no, even though it put me over 40 hours for the week and that I should have been getting overtime even as a salaried worker, I think. He's in the state I was, this is wage theft. He said no because going and working events is fun work. Like, no, it's not. I wake up at 6 a.m., I'm at a racetrack all day, and then I'm doing other stuff all night. I get back to the hotel at 12, wash my shirt in a sink because y'all gave me one shirt and won't let me wear any others. And I get food poisoning and end up responding to customer service complaints like while I'm barfing into a toilet and like in the press tent. Like, no, that's not fun work. Though I did see Kanye West. However, I'm still not sure it was Kanye West at X Games because he comes down and he's doing his thing to performing. I'm like, cool, I really was excited to see Kanye. And I'm like, is he wearing a mask? I kind of look at my boss. I'm like, are we sure that he's here? Because that could be literally anybody in a track. And I'm still not convinced I saw Kanye West perform. Not convinced. And then, oh my gosh, X Games was such a weird experience. Oh god, I'm like, some people have a lot of experiences that are a lot wilder than mine. I think my favorite live event stories in no particular order are getting punched because I blocked a photographer's shot, so he hit me. This freaking grown-ass man hit me. I was like 23 years old. It's much smaller than I am now. What an asshole. And he grabbed my credentials. It's like, who the fuck are you? That's your trackside. Looks and sees I'm working for the track. Drops my lanyard, covers his own, and turns and walks away. And I just get in my golf cart and I go back. And I see my client. I'm like, I got punched. And he's like, if you see that guy, you point him out because I need to have a conversation with him. I was like, that's a good client. Bye, Haley. Oh my gosh, Dan Compton worked as an event coordinator. It's so stressful. It's so stressful. Now if I do events, I'm just kind of a vendor coordinator, so it's a little less stressful, but man, load in and load out at like Folklife. Oh, load out is harder in a lot of ways because everybody's like, there's so many people going and you're trying to make sure nobody gets hit by a car. Michael Davidson, have you ever heard of the band The Velvet Underground? Yes. I've heard of the band The Velvet Underground. I'm not like in Plato's cave. Like I'm a human being. No, David, I wasn't punched in the face. I was punched in the arm. But yeah, I haven't heard that solo. I Heard Her Call My Name in a while, so I must need to go listen to it. Did you know that Third Eye Blind? I'm just hanging out with y'all. Did you know that song, Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind, the singer considered to be a response song to Walk on the Wild Side? Because Walk on the Wild Side is do, 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 do. And of course, the hook from the Third Eye Blind song is do, 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 do. I'm not kidding. That's not a joke. That's real. You know what, Bud, is the weirdest question I've ever, or this is, I think, one of the most offensive things that's ever been, like, said to me as a guitarist who's been playing since I was 8. I was in a guitar store with, actually, someone I'd been teaching guitar, and I was kind of talking to her through some, like, buying an electric guitar a little bit, and a guy comes up, and he's talking to us, like, I love seeing women rock, man, and he's naming, like, all these bands that he likes. He's like, and he looks at me, he's like, so, like, yeah, how long, you can play, or you play? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good, I've been playing since I was 8, and he's like, oh, okay. He's like, you know who you should check out? I'm like, who should I check out? And he's like, Eric Clapton. You should listen to some Eric Clapton. His vibrato technique is off the charts. And I just look at this guy like, you think I don't know who Eric Clapton is? What? I'm in the world. He's one of the most famous human beings. Oh my god. Oh my god. It is cool to think that people are hearing, like, the Velvet Underground. I'm not going to say it's cool that people are hearing Eric Clapton for the first time. It's cool that people are hearing Velvet Underground for the first time. I just hope that most of them are teenagers. Though, I think one of the first things that I made my one of the first times I went to a record store with my husband, I had him buy. Actually, I think I did this with all my boyfriends. I always made them buy Marquee Moon by Television. All right, I'm going to show that comment. Is that Eric guy still here? Hey, Eric Downing, if you're still here, say something. Say something. That guy, what an asshole. Man. Oh. David, which song do you love? Walk on the Wild Side or Semi-Charmed Life? I like them both. I'm not going to lie. I like Third Eye Blind. I know the guy's an asshole, so I don't really listen to them anymore because I just feel like I'd rather at this point in my life consume art by people who aren't also really terrible people. But check out Marquee Moon by Television. If you want to hear some crazy, amazing, cool post-punk guitar stuff, that's it. That's it. Man, David, I could probably still, like, if I heard that song, I bet I could still remember all the lyrics. That was really the first, like, modern rock band I really, really liked was Third Eye Blind. It was probably the first CD that wasn't a compilation that I bought with my own money. I think the first CD I bought with my own money was the first Now That's What I Call Music. And then I bought, like, the second and third one. I think they had Third Eye Blind songs on them. And I was like, I need this in my life. And I listened to it a lot. Man. David Cole says, Marquee Moon is the first album I bought when I moved to Portland. It's a good choice. It's a good choice. I remember the first time I heard Television, I was on an airplane, and Delta had those, like, radio station, and one was curated by Steve Wynn of, what was his band? I know he did the baseball project thing. No, not, oh my god, not Steve Wynn, not Steve Wynn, not Steve Wynn. The baseball project band. Is this Steve Wynn? It is Steve Wynn. Is that what I said? Steve Wynn from the Dream Syndicate. And he curated a Delta playlist and it had Television, I See No Evil on it. And damn, that just hit. Like, that hit me at the right, I was like maybe 14 years old. And I was like, this is the business. And I think I listened to that one, I picked that station because I had like the Strokes on it. And I'm like, oh, rock, cool. Or it had Ryan Adams. Oh, I'm embarrassed to say it. It had the song, Ryan Adams song, So Alive on it. I'm like, oh, cool. A station has Ryan Adams. I liked Ryan Adams when I was 14 because I was that kid. And then man, Television. Yes. And then I turned into loving Elvis Costello because I Don't Want to Go to Chelsea. That riff was inspired by I See No Evil. Man. That's a good record. Yeah, well, it's been about an hour, and we're not talking about the pedal musical anymore. But thanks, y'all, for hanging out with me for a little bit on a Saturday evening. I hope you're all well. Stay positive, text negative, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm from North Carolina. We've known Ryan was an asshole for a long time. I mean, so did I. But, like, there's a difference between, like, knowing someone's kind of a dick and finding out someone's a sex pest who solicited nude photos of minors. Yeah, because, like, you know what you're getting into. You're like, oh, he's just an asshole. And also, like, most assholes are pretty benign. But, yeah, not so much. Bye, Philip. Bye, Dave, Bud, Michael, David, Philip, Steve, Damien, Haley, Karthik, not Eric. If anybody I missed, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily. Goodbye.